Hi, good afternoon, and welcome to Louisiana Department of Ed 2020 Teacher Leader Summit Virtual Series. My name's Sharon, and I'll be your host or moderator for this session this afternoon. If you have any questions or comments for me, just post them in the chat box. If you have any questions or comments for the presenters, you can go ahead and post those in the chat box too. And this is session E084, and it is about getting children ready to learn. I'm going to turn everything over to your presenters.
Good afternoon. Thank you all so much for joining LPB this afternoon. My name is Nancy Touraine. I am the Education Director here at Louisiana Public Broadcasting. Co-hosting with me, I have Melissa Tolson. You'll see her on camera as well. Melissa, wave to everybody.
Good afternoon.
She is our Bright by Text coordinator, which you'll be learning about a little more later this afternoon. So Melissa will be moderating our chat. So if you have any questions during the presentation, please don't hesitate to type her question. If she can't answer it, she'll stop me and I will stop and answer your question. I don't mind if you want to unmute and ask something or tell me something, that's fine as well. I hate to be a talking head, and unfortunately, with all of these Zoom meetings, that's basically what it has to be. So please bear with me. I hope you enjoy the presentation and get a lot of resources out of it that you can use in the classroom. So please be sure in the chat to put what district you teach in, what grade level, and if you have a Pbs Learningmedia account. So just let us know that in the chat. That'll be helpful to us. So I'm going to go ahead and start, and I'm sharing my screen already, and you can see that I'm on LPB's education homepage. And you don't need to worry about any links or writing anything down. I will send everyone a follow-up email with all the important links that we covered today, so you don't have to quickly write those down. So LPB, as you know, has been providing educational resources for over 40 years to all the citizens of Louisiana for free. Most children get us over the air. So LPB feels like we've been a very important resource, especially during the coronavirus, to children who do not have access at home to internet and computers. So we've really been beefing up our daily educational content so that kids can have access at home. And we'll talk a little bit more about that later. So this is LPB's education homepage, and I wanted to point out a resource that's sitting right here on the screen because we are talking about children who are getting ready to learn. Excuse me. So we're focusing on children ages 2 to 8 years old, and I noticed that some of you on the webinar are teach older grades, which you will definitely still find some resources for you to use, so don't worry. I'm just going to really focus on early learning. But this Cyber Chase resource is an excellent tool for you to use. You actually can text LPB to 30644, and you can actually get Cyber Chase resources sent to your phone, and they're great activities to do with your kids. So it's basically lesson plans with the videos attached. So please join our Cyber Chase Text to Teacher initiative. We'd love for you to be a part of that. When you scroll down, notice that we have these login boxes for 3 digital media libraries that LPB provides. Now, many of you are probably more familiar with Discovery Education. LPB has been offering it for over 17 years, which is very hard to believe, all of which I've been here at LPB, which is another hard to believe. So Discovery Education is a paid for digital media library. So we've been offering this to districts for many years for a very nominal fee to be able to log in. Most school districts do subscribe to Discovery, some don't. So you may or may not, your district may or may not have a subscription. It is, the subscriptions are by school and or districts. Unfortunately, there are no teacher subscriptions. So it's either an entire school or the whole district. This middle library that you see, LPB Learningmedia or Pbs Learningmedia, is another digital library available to you for free. So this doesn't cost you any money. This is something that you could use right this minute. All you need to do is to create your own account. And you'll see here, if you're not yet a member, sign up now. So you can actually click up here, create your account, you have a username and password, and you'll be able to log in. So, and we're about to log in, and most of this presentation will be about Pbs Learningmedia and how to use the tools there, but I'm just doing a brief overview of LPB resources so you can get a bigger picture of everything that's available. This third library to the right is called the Louisiana Digital Media Archive. This is a free library for you to use, no login, password required. And these are all archived Louisiana footage that you can search by subject and use in the classroom. Really cool archived videos like the Louisiana bus boycott, which obviously would be for older grade levels, but old Mardi Gras balls, past gubernatorial addresses, just really cool history, art with music, lots of goodies to find in that library. And again, there's no login or password needed. So I just wanted to mention that one to you for teachers, especially if you're teaching Louisiana history. So those are the three digital media libraries. I'm going to scroll back up to my page because many of you may know about our Learning at Home page. And so I'm going to click right here, Access Learning at Home here. And this is a page LPB created right after all the schools were shut down for the coronavirus. Because we all knew that families and teachers and children would need lots of support from home to help navigate all of this distance learning. So I just wanted you to make sure that you know this page exists and the resources are all still here. We're going to keep the page up and we'll also be updating it. We've done all this in partnership with the Louisiana Department of Education. And so you'll see we have the new Super Summer Learning at Home. That's a tongue twister. I'm going to click here and show you this page. So we've got all kind of great links here to summer learning for families, teachers, children, lots of fun things for kids to do. We'll constantly be adding resources to this page. I'm going to go back, and we've also, we just had a conversation with superintendents this morning on another Zoom call about LPB's Bridging the Gap plan. And starting in July, LPB will be airing critical math lessons on our broadcast channel statewide. And so everyone statewide can receive LPB's broadcast channel for free, whether you have Cablevision or not. And we're doing these critical math lessons because the department has identified math as a problem, especially since school has been closed. And so there's a huge need for math lessons. And I just wanted you all to know that this resource is here. It's going to start the month of July 6th. So I'm looking here, the schedule, and LPB1, that's our digital channel, our main digital channel. So the videos that will be available for early childhood are from Eureka Math. And so grades K through 2 will be 12 noon to 1:30 on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And 3 through 5 will be available from 12 noon to 1:30 on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So you may have students at home who you know need this extra math instruction and they may not have internet connection. You can always provide them the schedule to be able to watch these lessons. Now, if you click on this critical math lessons broadcast schedule here, it actually, you may have already gotten this document from the Department of Education. It is also on their website. If you scroll down, you can actually see what lesson will be taught on which day. So this might help you plan for future lessons or to let kids know when to watch their grade level math lessons. So I wanted to show you that. Again, this is all on the Bridging the Gap page, critical math lessons. And for older grade levels, if you're attending this call, grade 6 through algebra will be every day of the week from 1:30 to 3. And then from 3 to 5, we'll have social studies and science, mostly documentaries available. So that will be for an older grade level. But this is the broadcast that we're providing statewide to all students. Any questions about the educational programming on LPB's main digital channel? Everybody's okay? Okay, I'll keep going. I'm back at the at-home learning page. These buttons here will be changing as soon as we start our broadcast in July. This was our 5 to 5 schedule that we did during the shutdown for schools. So all this will be changing, but all of these resources here are still available for you to use. We do have the resources by grade and subject. We have apps by grade and subject. And I don't know if any of you are familiar with the Pbs Kids programming, but it is phenomenal. It is all educational. It's all free. Most of the resources available, like all the Pbs Kids apps, are absolutely free for children to download. And so we've got a whole list of those apps right here. I'm going to scroll down a little further, and in this parent, student, and caregiver section, these are probably the favorites for the age group that we're talking about, which is early learning. So obviously Pbs Kids. Pbs Parents is a great resource for parents. It has all kind of information about every program that you see on Pbs Kids, activities to do while you're watching, crafts, parenting tips. They have a daily newsletter now that you can sign up for, parents can sign up for. And of course, Sesame Street is a beloved. It's been around for 50 years now, and some of us were raised on Sesame Street, and kids are still being raised on Sesame Street and learning their letters, their numbers. So lots of resources here. And of course, Fred Rogers, who is so important, especially now during all this time. Fred Rogers always tells us to look for the helpers. And it just seems like this year is the year of look for the helpers. So lots of resources from Fred Rogers to help kids cope and deal with their feelings, and teaching them about the coronavirus, about racism, and he has a wonderful message, and we all know that, and trust his resources. Here you have Learningmedia, which we're about to dive into in just a minute. And this other resource here that I wanted to tell you about is Bright by Text. And I'm going to go ahead and click on this link and let you know that Bright by Text is a new initiative that LPB has started maybe a year ago. And this is a texting service for parents ages prenatal to 8 years old. Parents can sign up their children and they will receive text messages on their phone daily. It gives parents information about the child development, education, learning opportunities, free events in their community. Some examples, we let parents know statewide about the PEBT cards that are available through the Department of Education. We've had early childhood networks partner with us and send out messages about their extravaganzas, their roundups, where they're asking children to register for preschool. We've sent messages about where to get Wi-Fi, free Wi-Fi in the public library parking lots, who's doing it, what time. So we have national messages that go out throughout the nation to parents all over the country about just developmental milestones that parents need to watch out for, little things to do with their child. And it's all according to a child's birthday. So everything is completely developmental. So there's a two-prong approach to this. One is we want to sign up parents to receive the information. And two is we want to have some community partners to partner with LPB so that we can broaden our messaging across the state, because you all know what's happening in your communities. Me here in Baton Rouge may not necessarily know. So we'd like for you to join us and partner with us and help us submit messages, and we can target messages to age levels and zip codes. So we can send a message just to a particular city in Louisiana or a particular zip code and to a particular age level, which is very cool. So we can get very specific with our messages. So to sign up, a parent would simply click on sign up, and they have to fill in their cell phone, their zip code, whether they want their message in English or Spanish. All messages come in English and Spanish, and the child's birth date. And so they submit, and they will start getting the messages. Very easy. The other way to sign up, which I think a lot of parents see on LPB's channel, is to text LPB to 27448, which is a fine way to sign up. It works. There's just a little problem is once they text LPB to that number, they have to take another step and tell their child's birth date and zip code in English or Spanish. And a lot of times our parents do not take that second step to finish the registration, so they don't ever start getting the messages. So we've been trying to encourage parents to sign up online. And of course, if you don't have access online, definitely they have the option to text. Many parents do have a cell phone and they do have data and texting plans, so they can always sign up through their cell phone.
Nancy, we have some questions.
Sure.
Many people are wanting to know if they can get a copy of this PowerPoint that is being presented today.
I think the session is being recorded. I'm not actually using a PowerPoint. I'm just using links from LPB's website, which I will be sure to provide all of these links in a follow-up email so that everybody can click and be exactly where we are right now. Does that help? I'm sorry, I don't do PowerPoints. It's because it's all right here online. You can get it right now. Everybody can go click on it right this minute. So I'll be sure to follow up with links on all these resources. So don't worry. And I'm always available for questions later. You can always email me and contact me. Anything else? No? Okay, so I'm going to scroll down here just a little bit on this Bright by Text website. Actually, we did an informational webinar for early childhood networks. I don't know, we've done several, but this one might have been last week's webinar. And you can actually watch the archived webinar and and go back and look at that webinar. And so down here, we've got some community partners that have actually pledged their support and are actually sending out local messaging. We'd love for you to become a community partner. All you have to do is click here. It sends our Bright by Text team an email, and we will reach out to you to become a partner. Here's where you submit messages. So you can click there. It's a simple Google form, and you can tell us that you would like for us to send out a message to your community. So we're able to log in, find out how many parents are signed up in your zip code or your city. We can find out how many parents clicked on a message. So we can follow click-through rates to see how successful the messages are. Obviously, some are more successful than others. There's also a manual sign-up sheet here, which we used to use a lot before Corona hit, because LPB is always at community events around the state. And we actually manually sign up parents at events. And so they actually have to fill this in and sign, and we manually go sign their children up to receive the service. So this sheet is here for you to use. Just remember that you always have to get the sheet back to LPB so that we can go ahead and enter everyone in. But this way is not very popular right now because no one is gathering together. Any questions about Bright by Text before I leave this service? Remember, this is prenatal to age 8. If you yourself want to start receiving messages for Bright by Text, just because you're curious about it, you can sign up. You can sign up your own child. If you don't have a 0 to 8-year-old, you can make one up. My pretend child is 2 years old. And just remember, you may not get all the messages because I'm getting messages just for 2-year-olds. So something another parent might get for an 8-year-old, I would not get on my cell phone, which is great about the service because you're not just bombarded with all these random texts. It's actually text that parents need to see, need to learn about, and it makes a difference. A lot of parents tell us that their confidence is boosted as a parent because they've learned so much about the development of their child, and we've had great success. Melissa talks to parents all the time, and they love the service and they love getting the messages. So that's Bright by Text. Melissa, we're okay with questions? Okay. I'm going to go back to our Learning at Home page. I'm going to scroll down just a little bit.
Sorry, Melissa is on mute. This is Sharon. You do have a question in the chat box. Is there anyone or any program available for a representative to attend a PTO meeting? Parents don't always like to follow recommendations from teachers if it's not mandatory. They may be more willing if they hear the information firsthand.
So is that saying that it's an in-person event, like at a parent-teacher organization meeting?
PTO is parent-teacher organization. Yes,
right,
ma'am.
but
Yes.
are we talking about in-person?
Yes.
Okay, definitely. So this is for signing up Bright by Text?
Yes.
Okay. So yes, you absolutely could use that manual sign-up sheet to sign up at an actual event. If you're at a PTO meeting and you want to tell the parents all about Bright by Text, you can do that and sign them up right there. You can get them to go on their phone and text LPB to 27448. Just remember they have to take that second step to finish the registration. So yes, absolutely, you can do this in person and let parents know.
And they're also wanting to know if they can have an LPB representative to come to their school to attend in person so they could hear it from us.
Well, you're looking at the two people that cover the entire state, and so that's Melissa and myself. And yes, we are happy to come. We would never turn you down. It might take a little time for us to get there because we have a lot to cover, but I'm happy to do any webinars for anybody, for any PTO meeting. If you want me to Zoom in, I'm happy to do that as well. But yes, we are happy to help in any way we can. So yes, we will do that.
I'm going to put my email in the chat room as well.
Yes, Melissa is our Bright by Text project coordinator. So she would be the one you would want to contact. But yes, we are all available to come and help you get the word out for Bright by Text. We also have some goodies that we can share with centers and districts to help get parents to sign up. But honestly, you're right. The face-to-face is the best way to sign parents up, but just unfortunately the last couple of months we haven't been able to do that. But what's so exciting is that even though we haven't been able to be face-to-face, we continually have 4 to 6 children sign up for Bright by Text every day, and that's been through the coronavirus. So the word is getting around somehow. Of course, LPB does show interstitials on our broadcast about Bright by Text, so I think parents are seeing it a lot on television. And also the word is getting around. So, but yes, the face-to-face is a very powerful connection with the parents. All right, I'm gonna keep scrolling down because I wanna talk about these.
Come on, Zoe.
parents. It's okay?
I was talking about.
Okay. This parent caregiver section, because this is gonna be very important to you to so that you're able to see the impact that these PBS Kids programs have. So this is the PBS Kids learning goals for all the PBS Kids programs. So this is a sheet that you can print out. So you'll see the PBS Kids learning goals cover lots of areas. Look at all the STEM programs. So it seems like in the past 5 to 6 years, PBS has really been producing a lot of STEM programs. Many of them, you know, kids absolutely love. For example, Wildcrats is one of the kids' favorites. They absolutely love Wildcrats, and that's all about scientific inquiry and life science. They learned so much from watching Wildcrats. And just remember that all these shows have curriculum that go along with them. And I'll show you how to search all that in Pbs Learningmedia. But it's important for you to know like what these learning goals are and the age levels and the wide variety of shows. We have a new one that just started June 1st that is a hit with preschoolers, and it's called Hero Elementary. It just came out. Actually, it's on this sheet. So Hero Elementary is it's another STEM program. It just started. Ready, Jet, Go is a kid favorite that's all about space science and in the engineering design process. A Roughman is another one that kids love, and that's also engineering design process. Math, we have Peg plus Cat for math. And just realize that these programs are on LPB's. We also have a second digital channel called LPB Kids. And so all these programs are shown on the air 24/7. So we have a specific channel just for PBS Kids programming. So it's available, and kids know these shows, they know the songs, they love them. And so this is a great way for you to utilize these resources that these kids love. Any questions about the learning goals? Okay. The other thing I want to point out is the Pbs Kids Apps. So all these Pbs Kids shows have apps that go along with the shows. And our newest app is called Play and Learn Engineering. Fabulous app. It's completely free. Parents can download this on tablets and phones. This is actually all of these are new up at the top. This Cat in the Hat Invents That, and Molly of Denali, which is about information literacy. Just fabulous apps that kids love, and they teach great skills that kids need to know, especially science, technology, and engineering. So I just wanted to show you about the apps. If you all have devices in your classrooms, you can download these as well and use them. And there's also the Pbs Kids games. And I'm not going to click here because Pbs Kids is so noisy. It's full of all kind of tunes and music, and but there are online games as well that kids can play. So in fact, we're doing a Wild Kratts virtual camp next week for 4- and 5-year-olds. And so normally we have the camp here at LPB with 20, 25 4- and 5-year-olds, and of course we had to cancel. So we're going to try a virtual camp with Wild Kratts, and I'll be showing the kids some of the games on PBS Games for Wild Kratts next week. So we'll see how the virtual camp works for 4- and 5-year-olds. It'll be interesting to see. So this is our Learning at Home page. So I'm going to scroll back up, and we are going to focus on Pbs Learningmedia, which is our the digital library that you'll be able to search and find all kind of great resources. Notice there's quick tips and how-tos here. So when you click there, it'll actually bring you to these tutorials that will actually show you everything that we're doing today, probably a little bit more in depth because we only have so much time to go through all this. But please do not forget about these here. There's also these tips for distance learning. This is a previously recorded webinar that PBS did. And it's actually wonderful because not only do they show learning media, but they have teachers in the webinar talking about other technology tools that are great to use for distance learning. So it's just a really great webinar to watch to help you out. So I'm going to go ahead and log into Pbs Learningmedia. It is storming outside in Baton Rouge right now. I am in a brick building with no windows and I can hear the storm outside. So I hope all of you are okay with your connections. I'm really worried about that. So this is Pbs Learningmedia. This is for pre-K all the way up through high school. This is a searchable library for you to use. Notice up at the top, I have my name here because I'm logged in. So you always want to make sure that you're logged in because anything that you save will be under your login. So you don't want to go find a bunch of resources and not be logged in because then you're not actually saving them. So make sure you are logged in. Notice you have two search bars. One is up here and one also is here. Both do the exact same thing. We'll use both of them today. If you scroll down, this section is, these are resources that have been highlighted for you. They change pretty much every week. These are like the favorites. And it also has to do with what's going on in the world. So they change them thematically, every month. So of course, you can see that things are starting to change because of what recently happened. And so you'll see that a lot of things have to do with protest and race and justice, race and justice. So all of these are starting to change. Why do astronauts exercise? We just saw SpaceX launch into space this past weekend, which was so exciting. I hope every child watched that on television because it was amazing. So these resources are timely, and they're all different grade levels. You can see that you'll see the grade level actually on the resource. It'll tell you if it's a video, if it's a document, or if it's an interactive. And this one looks very fun, comparing fractions, bubblegum blowing contest. And an interactive is something that's going to walk kids through like a lesson, and they record answers and teachers are able to see. And we'll dig into these interactives a little later on. I just wanted to highlight these. These are resource highlights right here. You can also browse by subject area or grade level. Underneath that, you have these news and events, and these will change also. In fact, it has just changed since our webinar this morning with superintendents, because this is a new one that was just added. So this is confronting anti-Black racism. This one is a virtual field trip to wonderful places without having to leave your home. And of course, this one is the Ken Burns collection. And Ken Burns is giving us the national parks. The entire broadcast of the national parks is now available in Learning Media. So not only do you have access to the full broadcast of national parks, but all the educational materials that go with that, which is amazing. And by the way, in the month of June, on Fridays, LPB will be doing Field Trip Fridays on our broadcast channel. And so every Friday, I think it's at 2 p.m., we have a field trip to one of the national parks. So that's something you can let kids know about. And then after the news and events, we have award-winning series and collections. And so these collections are real popular with teachers. It's kind of like everything having to do with that topic all lumped together in this nice little package that you're able to explore. So it's kind of like a unit. Notice we have a whole collection for the new series called Hero Elementary that just started June 1st. You'll notice some collections popping up about civil rights. Our virtual professional learning series, these are past webinars that have been recorded to teach you how to use Learning Media. So this would be a great resource after this webinar to come back and take a look at these. I'm going to click and just show you. Lots of great professional development here for learning with the littles. So you'll see that these are about an hour-long webinars that you can rewatch. These are mostly for early learning. So this group is the exact target for all of these virtual professional learnings. So over here on the left, notice that you have a menu that you can click just straight to whichever series that you're interested in. I'm going to hit my back button and go home. Some other great collections, and one that we will be looking at extensively is this Ready to Learn initiative. So we'll be looking at some of these collections. Notice we have summer learning here, and if you click on summer learning, this is for students in grades pre-K through 12, so you can click on any category here on the left and pick your grade level, and you'll have these activities populate here that you can use and assign to kids, and you can print things out, send things home. This is actually a document, so that would be a printable. I'm going to go back home. I can always go back to my main page by clicking on the PBS Learning Media icon here on the top left. And as I scroll down past the award-winning series and collections, I have, these are teacher events that are coming up. Most of these are PBS Teacher Line courses, and I don't know if any of you are familiar with PBS Teacher Line, but they're online professional development courses. They have new self-paced courses that are free. There's no charge. They last about an hour to 3 hours. You do get a certificate for attending the course. These look like the bigger courses, the 45-hour courses that you actually can get graduate credit for. So that will bring you, these will bring you to the Teacher Line website. Notice there's a link here to LPB's Learning at Home page, which is where we jumped off to go to PBS Learningmedia. And down here, you can sign up for a newsletter from PBS Learningmedia. These are very helpful, lots of great resources, all timely collections. So each month they'll give you things to highlight, you know, thematic things. The 100th day of school, or Halloween, Christmas, you know, they do the holidays, or important events in history. So you can sign up right here from the PBS Learningmedia homepage. Any questions about this homepage before we dive in and start searching for some resources? Everybody's doing okay?
We have one
Definitely.
question. I don't know if you answered it. Says, can you sign up more than one child at a time?
No, for Bright by Text. You actually have to sign them up, each child, unfortunately.
Okay.
Good question, thank you. Okay, so I'm gonna go scroll back up this page, and we're actually gonna click in this search bar, and we are going to search for letter recognition. And I want you to notice that 1,000 things pop up, all kind of resources. And I want you to know that over here on the left, you can filter down those resources according to what you're looking for. Sometimes we don't always know what we're looking for, so it's nice to have all of this pop up. But sometimes it's a little overwhelming, so we want to whittle this down a little bit. So I'm gonna click on pre-K here, and I'm also gonna click on the subject as preschool. So when you click on this, you'll see that I've got all kinds, I'm down to 336, which is still a little bit overwhelming. But these resources come up, most of them are videos. A lot of these come from Sesame Street, but I can keep just scrolling through and looking at these videos. Notice here I have an interactive, which means it's probably a game. And so this is a little word hunt in the sandbox with Abby, which is really cute. So as you can see, you can go through all these resources. I'm just gonna pick one here. I'm gonna go to Fireflies in Sesame Street. And I want to show you over here on the left that I can share this to a Google Classroom. And I don't know how many of you are actually using Google Classroom in early childhood. I suspect probably not. I don't know, maybe you have since coronavirus, you're using it as a way to reach families. But it's very simple to use. So I would just simply click Share to Google Classroom. And it asked me to choose my class. And I'm going to choose LPB Ready to Learn. And then from here, I can create assignments with this video. I can ask a question, so they have to watch the video and answer a question. So anyway, if you're not familiar with Google Classroom, of course, there are whole tutorials on Learning Media on how to use the resources in Google Classroom. I'll show you a little bit more as we go through the tools, but I just wanted to show you how easy that is. It's just a couple of clicks and you've got it in your Google Classroom. You can assign or share this resource. So you can build classes in your dashboard, and we'll go over the dashboard in just a minute. I can quickly assign this to a student by simply sending them a link that's just for this resource. And I also can use Remind. I know a few of your schools and districts use Remind, or you can email and use social media if you're sharing it with colleagues. So very easy to share a resource. Notice I can save this resource for later by marking it as a favorite. So I simply click and it makes a blue heart. And it has automatically put this resource in my favorites, which we'll go access in just a minute. So don't forget about that we marked this as a favorite. Notice that we have, it tells you a little bit about the video. You can click on standards. And so the Louisiana birth to 5 standards will pop up. You know, you can pop out the see all 23 standards that this video addresses. And also you can see that it covers the National Early Learning Outcome Framework. So you've got all of this. So when you're planning your lessons and you're looking for something and you need to tie it to the standards, it's all here for you. Notice on the right that it's pulling in more resources for you. So according to what you searched, you might also like some of these other videos. So it's always going to give you more than what you needed. Does anybody have any questions about looking at a resource, saving it into your favorites, looking at the standards? Everybody's okay with this? Okay, I'm going to keep moving. I'm going to hit my back button. Actually, I'm going to go to Pbs Learning. I'm going to go back home. So every time I want to go back home, I click on this icon top left. I'm going to search a backwards way, which sounds kind of crazy, but sometimes it's very effective. You see the search bar up here, and I can click on the magnifying glass. I'm not going to put any search term, and I'm just going to click on the magnifying glass. And so obviously lots of things are popping up because I have no search term, no filters. But over here on the left, I want you to see that I can filter this down. So I want to click on pre-K. I'm going to click on preschool again. And so you'll see all these great collections are coming up, videos for preschool. And down here on the resource type, I want to search for an interactive, because I want to show you what an interactive is. And so I looked at this Snails and Snacks, and it's really cute. So this is for pre-K. So I'm going to click on Snails and Snacks. So we're going to explore the sweet, slimy world of snails and worms, which kids, you know, absolutely love. And we're going to discover the difference between fact and fiction using videos, stories, and games. So we're going to click Launch. And it's going to open up this session. So kids can actually walk through this. So we're going to go to the next page to get started. And this is really geared to help parents as well. So if parents are trying to teach this at home, so we're going to be talking about things fiction and nonfiction. And so we're going to go to the next page. And you're going to watch a video. It says, watch this video and find out what it takes to be a snail. Are you a snail? It's really cute. I would love to play the video, but we don't have much time. But see, the kids will work through this lesson, answer questions, and go through this entire activity. So that's called an interactive. I'm going to go back here and notice I've got all kinds of other resources that pop up. I'm going to hit my back button one more time and get back to the interactives. Anybody have any questions about searching for a resource? So just remember to use your filters on the left. There's lots to look through. You can always save your resource, assign it, and we're going to talk about teacher tools next if no one has any questions about searching. We're okay? Okie dokie. So I'm going to go back home to PBS Learningmedia, clicking on the icon on the top left. And I wanted to show you the tools that are available for you to use as a teacher. So these will be tools to use for all the resources that you find. So I'm going to click on my name up at the top right, and I'm going to go to my dashboard. And I wanted to show you, you remember the favorites I told you about? Here, where you can mark any resource and put it in your favorites. So here's where you access those favorites, where you find them. So I'm going to click on favorites. And you'll notice that the video that I just put in my favorites is going to be the first one that pops up here. I can add any of these resources to a folder, and I simply click add to a folder. Notice here are all my folders on the left that I've already made. So teachers can actually create grade level folders. They can be shared with colleagues. You can do thematic folders, however you organize your resources. But all of this can be organized into a very clean way of trying to use the resources in your curriculum. Very easy to do. So the other tool I want to talk about is a lesson builder. And so this allows you to build lessons for your kids. So I have this lesson here. I just love this Gravity song by Ready, Jet, Go. It is so cute, and kids love to sing it. And so over here, if you click on this edit button, you'll see that I can go in and edit this lesson that I've built. So I simply just told the kids to learn the Gravity song by heart, and then I want them to try to record their own version of the song and send a video in. Here I've got the instructions on what I want them to do. I've got the resource attached, and I can save and assign it. So I'm just going to save it for now because I want to go back to, actually I'm going to cancel and go back to my lesson builder. So that's this Gravity song. So if I click on the Gravity song resource, do you see that I can do a quick assignment? So I can actually copy this URL and send it to an email. Or if I have a kid who is not in a class, I can copy this code, and if they go to the student web page, which see right here, I can switch to the student view. They can just go to their student view and use this code, and that lesson will pop up for the kids. So there's lots of ways to be able to share this with your students. Some very simple and some more complex where you actually build out entire classes. So just keep that in mind as we go through these tools. I'm going to go back to Lesson Builder because I wanted to show you here up at the top that if you, obviously I'm breezing through this, but you can watch a tutorial or read the FAQs to learn how to create a lesson in PBS Learningmedia. But it's very simple to do, and you just simply create a lesson and you start building. It's very intuitive and not difficult. And so sometimes the easiest way is just to do it, just to go walk through it and create a lesson and try it out, which I encourage you to do. The next resource I want to show you is the Quiz Maker. So I'm over here on the left. This is another tool. And also you can see the tutorial or read the FAQs to learn how to use Quiz Maker. So you simply just click the button, create a quiz. I have this plant structure quiz already created, and I'm going to view it. See these little dots here? I'm going to view it as a student. Now, why didn't that go? No, that's not it. Well, let me just click on this. Okay, so I had to go, I just clicked on the resource. So basically, the kid will type their name and they'll hit start. So I'm going to click Nancy and I'm going to start. Now, of course, this is a yucky quiz. I just did this very quick, but you can see I was starting to do this plant structure, and it goes through questions, and the kids can type in the answer. So I'm just asking basic questions about plants. You can also embed videos in here as well. I just wanted you to see how that works. Click my back button. I'm going to return to the teacher view. I'm going to go back to my dashboard. The other resource that I want to show you is the Storyboard Builder. So if you click on Storyboard, you can, this is kind of like a multimedia project that a teacher can create to put lots of different media on a board, and so that students can click and learn about things. So I've just done a very simple one for Ready to Learn. So this is my board that I built, and it just explains about the Ready to Learn program. Of course, these 3 shows are some of the highlighted shows, part of our Ready to Learn programming. And it just tells a little bit about what the program is. And of course, I can click on these videos and watch a video from Cat in the Hat, Ready, Jet, Go, and Rough Ruffman. So teachers can put text blocks here. I'm going to go back to my storyboard and show you how I can edit it. And so I can change it up. I can put in clip art, text boxes, media, and change my background. So I can create these interactive learning tools for kids to use in the classroom. So those are called storyboards. When I go back to Storyboard, notice there's also a demo here that you can watch. It's just a couple of minutes long, or you can go through the FAQs. The other tool is called Puzzle Builder. This is a very simple, just you can either create a word search or a crossword puzzle. And those are, I'm sure you've used other online tools to create those as well. Any questions about the tools? You're muted.
We do have a question.
Okay.
It was about, would you be able to put all this on tablets, phone, or only on a PC?
Learningmedia is available on cell phones, tablets. It does have the responsive view, so the smaller the screen, the screen will adjust to the size of whatever device you're using. So yes, Kids use learning media on cell phones all the time, tablets, mini iPads, any of it will work, all of it. Good question. Anything else? Okay, I'll keep going. Notice the classes section here under the still under the dashboard. You can create a class, or you can import a class from Google Classroom. So I've actually imported this class from my Google Classroom. And so if you click on this Ready to Learn Classroom, these are my students, which are colleagues, by the way. And none of them have completed their assignments yet, so they've been very bad. But anyway, so this is, you have an invitation code that you can send to students to join your class, or send them a link. So, and then you also can manually add in classes as well. I'm going to go back to classes, and you simply create a class. And so you're going to make your class name, and you're going to get an invitation code and invite students to your classroom. So that's the other way to do it. Any more questions before we leave this dashboard?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. What impact does importing Google Classroom have on student privacy?
Well, it's very private because the kids are going to a direct link. And of course, they're going to Pbs Kids Learningmedia, which is all safe. It's all the resources are vetted. It's a very safe place for kids to be. So we've never had any privacy issues because you're not actually using, because they give you links and codes, kids are not entering in like personal data. So they're just clicking on a link that you give them, or they're putting in the code. So they're not using their username or password or anything like that. Hope that answers that question. Okay. I'm going to move on. I'm going to go back home to Pbs Learningmedia. And there's just a few resources that I wanted to make sure that we search for that are just really fabulous, great collections. So I'm going to type in here, Ready to Learn. And notice this was also a collection down on the bottom of the page under those featured collections. So when I type in Ready to Learn, this 2015-2020 initiative comes up, so I'm going to click there. And I wanted to show you, so this is our recent Ready to Learn initiative for grades 2 through 8. So the series on the left that are highlighted in this initiative is Molly of Denali, which is about a little girl who lives in Alaska, and she's a vlogger. She's a 10-year-old vlogger, and she teaches children about information literacy. Very cute show. She teaches about maps and reading text to find out about animals. Really cute show that kids love. So of course you can click on Molly of Denali, and all kinds of lessons will pop up that you can do with your kids that go along with the show. So lots of resources here. These are all lesson plans. You'll see there's some videos, interactives, this fish camp game, kids absolutely love. So anyway, lots of resources here. So each show that you click on will have all the resources that go with it. Rough Ruffman, I told you, was real popular with the kids. This is very heavy on the engineering design process. We've done this with 4- and 5-year-olds. We've actually done family workshops with children as little as 2 years old, we've done these activities with whole families. And so we break out the kids and the families and we teach them each about the topic, and then we bring them together and they have to complete an activity together. Rough, families love rough. It's just a lot of fun activities that they can really be creative with and build with recycled materials that they find around their house. We've had parents come back to workshops and say that instead of their kids going home and asking what toy they can play with, they've asked, what can we make with what we have at home? And that made parents so happy. And we're talking in low income areas. Parents and kids just eat these activities up. They've been really successful. So these are some really fun activities to do. So that's rough. Cat in the Hat knows a lot about that. Is another great one. Cat in the Hat is another engineering and STEM. It's a lot about sink or float, sound and vibrations. So you can see that all the resources that are available here. Lots of great things to do. And the other one is Ready, Jet, Go. This is another favorite with families. We've had families build Mars rovers together. They've designed astronaut spacesuits on teddy bears. All kinds of activity. This space helmet, which is a silly little cutout space helmet that kids just love to put that on their head and decorate it and pretend that they are just like Jet. So you'll see it's, and this is something you could print out and send home to parents for them to make at home, but it's just the little template that makes the little helmet, and it fits over their heads and makes them look like an astronaut. And just something really simple. The kids really love this activity. Over here on the left, again, you've got educator resources. So these Boston University teaching tips are mostly entire units with Cat in the Hat. So this one would be the properties of materials, building bridges. And so if you click view, notice you can download this as well. If you click view, it's going to pop open a PDF document. Do you all see this PDF document? Melissa, do you see that? Okay, just wanted to make sure it's showing up on the screen. So this is a whole packet for teachers to help you teach the properties of materials. And it's pretty much scripted day 1, day 2, day 3. So this is a 3-day unit that will show you what you're going to do, the key vocabulary. It talks about circle time. So these are just packets of lessons ready for you to take and go teach. It tells you literature that you can tie to the lessons. It's the whole package. Teachers love these Cat in the Hat teaching tips. I'm going to hit the back button. So they have 3 of those: one on materials, animal adaptations, and energy and motion. These educator activities, again, this is basically, we've already seen all these, but this is everything together with all the shows, all the teacher activities, things that you can do in the classroom. We have out-of-school resources here. We actually have camps that you can print out and do. This Odd Squad camp is a favorite. I think it's for a little bit older group, maybe like 6 to 8-year-olds is a great group for these Odd Squad camps. We did the Sensational Science Camp with the Rough Roughmen with 4 and 5-year-olds last year here at LPB. They had a great time. They actually made furniture out of newspapers. And to see a 4 and 5-year-old making a chair out of newspapers and standing on it is just, that you ought to see their expressions. They just cannot believe that they did that you can make a chair out of newspaper and stand on it. They're so proud of that. So all of this is available under Ready to Learn in PBS Learningmedia. So don't miss out Ready to Learn. I'm going to go back to Learningmedia, and the other topic that I wanted to search was tutorials. And I think I've already shown you these PBS Learningmedia tutorials, and these are specific tutorials on how to use the features of PBS Learningmedia. For example, how to favorite content and create your folders, how to use Google Classroom with PBS Learningmedia, how do you assign content to students. And these are just short little videos. This one's 2 minutes, 24 seconds. So just really easy things that you can come and watch to remind you how to do things, because you're never going to remember everything in this webinar today. Trust me. I know, I feel like I'm flying, just flying through material, and I'm hoping you're getting it all. Another resource I wanted you to search for, so I'm going back to my home page, is called Peep and the Big Wide World. And this is a series that PBS did that is wonderful, and kids love this series. It's so simple. It's just a very simple cartoon, but the content is phenomenal. So notice there's a whole Peep in the Big Wide World professional development collection. And so it's going to cover, this is a really great series for center-based educators. So if you're at an early childhood center, these are all kinds of activities that you can do with the kids. So you see you got color, plants, ramps, water, sound, and shadow. So these are all units that you could use in your centers. And all the videos are here, and you can show them on tablets. I know TV is a no-no in the preschool, but I just want you to know that these videos are short. You know, all the videos that you've seen in Learningmedia are very short, just clips that get to the point, which is how we want to use video in the classroom instead of just sitting them in front of an episode and watching it. So don't miss Peep in the Big Wide World. Another collection I want to show you, I just have one more because I know we're coming up on our time, is Nature Cat. And Nature Cat is another favorite among kids. So I wanted to show you that they have the Nature Cat collection. And so this is everything Nature Cat. So you've got over here on the left, don't forget on the left-hand side are always your filters. So you've got video plus activity bundles. And so you can see that this is all pre-K through 2. It's all science and nature. It's a lot of outdoor stuff. Nature Cat has a great app that goes along with the series. Nature Cat in the Swamp. They go and find the swamp thing, which is a real creature, by the way. And so just really cute, all tied to the standards and lesson plans that you can use. Any questions about Learningmedia? So we're good? Okay, I'll keep going. I'm going to go back to the Learning at Home page. I've got a few more things to show you. Over here on the top of the page here, we've got newsletters. I wanted to let you know that LPB publishes a monthly teacher newsletter that comes out on the 1st of every month. So here's the Educator Newsletter. They are archived, so if you want to go back to past issues and see what's available, I'll just show you what it looks like. So we're featuring summer learning. We just had a virtual field trip to the museum for grades 4 through 6. Actually, it's coming up, but the registration's already closed. I think we have a waiting list for this field trip. But this letter lets you know about things that are going on in the PBS world. Notice you can follow us on Facebook. We have an LPB Learningmedia Facebook page that post all kind of timely resources, events that are happening, contests, really cool things like the virtual field trip to the museum. So you can scroll through, and this talks about our field trip Fridays that's going to be happening in the month of June. And I told you the wrong time, by the way. Notice this is noon to 2 o'clock. It doesn't start at 2, it starts at noon. So, so you can scroll down. I highlight PBS Learningmedia resources in the newsletter. We've actually been doing top 5 picks for the Advocate across the state. So I picked my top 5 each week. Actually, Melissa picks them. She's been gathering those resources together. And so those have been a huge hit with the Advocate. So you can click on there and watch them. And I always feature something with the Digital Media Archive. That's the digital media library I told you about that doesn't cost anything, no username, no password. And so this month we are featuring a virtual summer road trip. So we're going to different places all in Louisiana. A lot of adults find the archive very interesting. A lot of adults spend a lot of time looking at these archive videos of just old, nostalgic, just really cool videos from Louisiana. And then here we talk about the critical math lessons that'll be starting in July. So that's the teacher newsletter. And over here we have the parents newsletter. And this is mostly early childhood. So I'll give you a sneak peek of this one. We do have a Raising Readers Facebook page that you can follow. And we post resources every day there. But we say Happy Father's Day to all the dads this month. Melissa put together this great 50 summer crafts for learning that you can access, things to do for kids. Of course, we have the virtual field trip. We talk about Hero Elementary that just premiered June 1st, and you can catch it on LPB. The weekly top picks, and we also let parents know about PBS Learningmedia, because now parents are looking for resources that they can also use Learningmedia and get a free account too. And then we just talk about literature. This is Celebrating Dads, and this is another cool resource. I don't know if any of you know that Mrs. Bush now has her podcast online, her reading stories. It's really phenomenal. If you haven't seen this yet, you need to check it out. And so it just goes on and on with resources that parents can do. So I wanted to definitely let you know, excuse me, that you can sign up for our newsletters here. And you can share this with your parents too and tell them that they can sign up for the parent newsletter. Any questions about that? Whew. Well, we have about 10 minutes left. So I will open it up for any questions. If anybody has any comments or any feedback for us. I know you fill out an evaluation, I think, after the session. Is that right, Sharon?
Yes, they do. The evaluation is embedded in the Sketch app. When they're on the page, when they're on the session in the Sketch app, the evaluation is down there in the bottom on the corner. I allowed everyone to unmute their mics. So if anybody has a question, you can unmute yourself now and just ask. Or you can post it in the chat box.
Mm-hmm. Originally, when we had developed this workshop, obviously it looked very different than what it does now, but Melissa and I really wanted to get your hands dirty with a lot of make and take activities. Like we wanted to bring you through some of the actual workshops that we do with families and children and let you play with the materials and some of the lessons. And so I'm so sad that we don't get to do that, because it is a lot of fun, and doing this online doesn't do it any justice, because it's not until you get your hands dirty and realize how much fun these activities are, and while kids are learning, and they get really excited about it.
We have, I just want to remind we had a lot of folks, and I'm really sorry this happened, who had there was a technical issue with some people received the incorrect link to your session. So there were lots of folks who were late joining. The session is being recorded, and the video will be on the Summit, Teacher Leader Summit YouTube list. So you will be able to access the recording from this session for you guys who were late getting in. I apologize that happened.
And maybe I can include that link on a follow-up email that for everyone that registered for this session. I promised everyone I would send, you know, critical links that I went over, so you can go back and revisit on your own and play around. I encourage you to get a free PBS Learningmedia account and start playing with it and searching and marking some favorites, and get used to using the service. Remember, it's free. There's no charge. You can start using it now. It's available. You just have to go to LPB's education homepage or the at-home learning page and sign up for your free account and log in and get going. Anybody have anything to say?
I'm not seeing any questions, and if anybody does have a question, you should be able to unmute yourself. I unlocked the mic control, so you could unmute yourself if you have a question. Getting a lot of positive comments in the chat about how much people learned.
Awesome, thank you. That's good to know. Thank you for the feedback. We do appreciate it. We just did a webinar this morning with superintendents, and they pretty much said the same thing. They were blown away that most people don't even realize that these resources exist. So we are very happy to be able to share this with you today, and hopefully you'll share this with your colleagues and spread the word. And just know that LPB is here to help. You'll know how to reach me with my email that I'll send out to all the participants. And we'll be working closely with districts throughout the next coming months to help them navigate whatever the new normal is going to be. I know everybody's nervous about school starting in the fall, and we have a lot of challenges ahead, and we have let all the districts know that LPB is here to help, and we're happy to be partnering with the DOE to provide these critical resources to you all and to families and children. So
somebody did post, it's kind of a question. It is a question, I'm sorry. Would some of the apps and resources be appropriate to use for kids in higher grade levels? It looks like they are saying for kids with disabilities that are in higher grade levels. Do you think some of that?
absolutely, absolutely. I think definitely many of the resources can be used in the older grade levels, especially special ed kids. So everything, we have closed captions. It's a lot of audio. Kids can put audio on. Yes, I do believe that these would be great to use.
And Carol Wilson has a question for you. I unmuted her.
Hi, Carol. Carol, you have a question?
1, 2, 3, go! It's also going to
Hello?
cameras.
You are muted. Hello? Hello? Melissa?
Yes, I can hear you. Sorry.
Okay. I have a question. She spoke about the URL link. So we could take that link and put it in our Blackboard area for all the parents to get on
Yes.
that particular link.
Yes, absolutely.
Would that link that be good, be able to access everything, or just the link for that particular lesson?
Just the link for that particular lesson. But there are many links that you can share for, to access the entire library. So
Okay.
you could do both. So you could let parents know about the PBS Learningmedia library and how to go to LPB's education page and sign up for a free account. Or you can send direct links to specific resources with specific instructions of what you want families to do. So either way.
I think both would be great for the parents, and then particular links for the students, so we'll know that not only the parents looking at it, the students were looking at it also.
That's right.
Right. Okay.
Yes, thank you. Anybody else?
And if you have a question and you can't unmute yourself, let me know, because it looks like I could unmute you too. Are lessons available in Spanish?
Yes, many of the shows do have Spanish lessons available. You can actually just search Learning Media for Spanish. You can just type that search word in and see what comes up, and then filter on the left, what grade level and subject area. But yes, many of the resources are in Spanish, especially the ready to learn resources.
Priscilla, Priscilla has a question. How do we get the resources to show we were in class?
How to get the resources?
I think you said you were going to email out the resource list.
Yes, I will
or the
email.
links.
Yes, I'll email out all the links that we covered today so that you can go explore on your own and click around. Everything that we discussed, I'll make sure that everybody gets links for. And I'll also send the link. Do we know how soon this will be recorded and available on the YouTube website?
It's pretty quick.
Okay, good. So maybe
I mean,
I
I
can
don't
get
think
the
it
link.
takes very long at all.
Okay, so maybe I can get the link before I send out my email to everyone so that they'll have the link to this presentation.
See who you're. Amanda Cologne. She was your contact for this session. Was she not? I'm gonna send you my contact's email and you can ask her.
Okay.
All right, we have another question.
Sure.
So just to make sure I understand, we go to pbs.org and sign up. Is this the same site for educators and teachers? You may have mentioned this, but she was a little late due to the wrong site tech issue.
That's a good question. And so pbskids.org, did she say pbs.org? It's actually pbskids.org is the kids website. But actually to sign up for Learning Media, you need to go to lpb.org/education. And so you've got the login box there, then you can also sign up for a free account.
pbskids.org.
Let me just,
Got it. All right, and then we have, could you recap about the texting you went over in the beginning? You said something about specific age levels getting certain text messages. She only heard some of it.
Yeah, so that is Bright by Text, our parenting texting initiative. And so parents can sign their kids up prenatal through age 8. And so parents will receive text messages daily, developmental tips, education tips, health tips, things that are going on in the community. So it's a texting initiative for parents to help them build confidence to become better parents. And that is also on the LPB education page. So you'll see right here, it's Bright by Text. And I will provide you with links to all of this, direct links, so you can just click directly on what particular topic you're interested in.
Okay. I think somebody's saying, how do we get credit for this session? The Louisiana Department of Ed does not issue certificates of attendance for the Teacher Summit. If you want,
Can LPB issue a certificate?
oh, I don't see why not.
Well,
But,
I'm happy to do it. If anybody wants a certificate, just please email me. When I email you all the links, let me know, and I'll be happy to send you one.
Sure. And but if you do need to have something in writing, Leanna told me for you guys to print out your schedule from the Sketch app of sessions that you registered to attend, and that should suffice for documentation of attendance.
Oh, that's a good idea too.
Mm-hmm. But it sounds like Miss Nancy will give you a certificate if you email her.
I absolutely will. I will do that. You've spent a lot of time with me.
We have a question about incorporating standards to
Yeah.
the lessons. How does that happen?
Well, so when we search the resources on PBS Learningmedia, I'm just going to flip back to PBS Learningmedia page. Let me just get back home. I'm going to go to this bubblegum activity here. Do you see that? Let's see. Well, this is an interactive. So let me go to a video real quick. Let's see. Let's look at drawing art. Do you see underneath this video where I can click on standards? So this is a video for grades 5 through 12. And if I click on standards, it actually shows me all the Louisiana standards tied to this particular video. So right here, you've got all of this documentation to help you tie it to your standards. So all the videos, all the resources will have this standards link here for you to click on. Anybody else? Well, it's been a pleasure spending this afternoon with all of you, and I hope you have enjoyed the virtual summit. I know you've been to lots of great sessions, and I'm really glad that the DOE was able to put this on. And thank you for our host. We appreciate all the help. And Melissa, thank you.
It was a pleasure.
Well, thank you, Melissa and Nancy. That was a great information, and I didn't even know that was a resource. So I'm so glad I got matched to you guys for this session.
Awesome.
It's chock full of information.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
all right. Well, we appreciate you guys sharing that with us. And you guys have a good afternoon.
Thanks, everybody. Be safe.
Bye.
Bye-bye.